I'm Michael Albers. This is Eric Gardner. Eric and I teamed up about 3 years ago when I got a call. I was recommended to Eric when he did a Fox pilot that unfortunately Fox never bought, but they paid for, and we had a good working relationship, and that's how editors find directors, is they team up on a project, usually for low to no pay in this case, and
he got paid okay.
I think I was the only one who got
He's
paid.
Also about a block away from me, so I always hang out at his place.
And and it was a good working relationship, and then we decided, based on this, the pilot we did for Fox was actually quite good, and it was really, unfortunately we had a producer that didn't push hard enough and push correctly on it, and so it never took off. But then we decided to do our own project. Well, Eric wanted to do his own project, so he took advantage of this new system called crowdfunding.
It's probably oversaturated now.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money, and Dream Takers cost a lot of money. And through the process with all the producers and everything, as you probably experienced, it was a nightmare. Everybody wanted it this way, we wanted it that way, so he and I did tons of cuts. So he said, hey, we really need to do our own thing. And a buddy of mine actually had this film that he was festivaling, and he's like, oh, you should come out and check out my film. It was called Absentia. It's this horror film. And I said, well, how did you get your money to make this thing? Because I don't have any money to make a movie. And he said, oh, I Kickstarted it. And I said, come on, you didn't everybody's sick of Kickstarter. Well, so he did. He Kickstarted this movie. He raised like about $100 grand or more. They shot this film, festivaled it, and now he's like shooting 2 back-to-back features, quadruple the budget, and it's going awesome. So we came together and we're like, we should just go and kind of test the waters and do a little short film. And we put up a little thing on Kickstarter, which is a lot of work. And we raised, I think we raised about $7,200 to shoot this film. And I come from the indie horror world. I write and direct horror movies. That's my thing. And we just made it work. We went out and we shot 3 days up in Pine Mountain Club, about 3 hours north of here in 24-degree weather. Got all our friends to help out. I shot a SAG movie on the red, and so it was a lot of work, but it came out really good, and we've been festivaling it. It's been in about 40 festivals. Now they email you and say, can we show your film? Which I'd never experienced festivaling before. So, I was against all of this from the start. The crowdfunding now, I'm like, now we're trying to do it again, because you think that everybody's doing it, but you know what, it's worth it. It's worth it if you don't have the budget and you want to go out and shoot a feature on your own terms and not have to answer to anybody. It's pretty cool.
How many people out there have thought about trying to crowdfund their projects? See,
yeah.
At least half the people, if not more, in the audience. Well, we used, originally on Bluehole, the film we'll show you tonight, we used Kickstarter, which kind of, everybody knows Kickstarter, that kind of got the ball rolling for crowdfunding. Kickstarter is kind of an all or nothing proposal. If you set up your project on Kickstarter and you say, I'm going to raise $10,000, that's the budget for my film, and you raise in donations $9,900, you get zero. You get nothing because you did not hit your $10,000 mark. On Bluehole, luckily, we made a little more than what we'd originally established.
We didn't think we were going to make our money. Yeah. It was literally like 24 hours before the auction, or the page was going to close, and I think we needed $2,500, and we were just pooping our pants, like, oh my God, we're not going to get this money. And we had everything lined up. And so finally somebody came in and they donated the last amount of money, and we were like, this is awesome. Because Kickstarter, it's all about social media and marketing. And basically I was like a one-man show, and constantly getting it out there, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. People were probably getting pissed at me. Why is this guy posting again? But you have to do it, and it's all for the greater good of your film. And we pulled it off, it was like that Hail Mary pass at the end, like the new one we're doing, I'm like gonna put something up in like a week. I'm gonna cut my hair. If you donate money, I'll cut my hair.
If we hit our milestone, he's gonna chop all his hair off. So that was Kickstarter. Now Kickstarter takes a 10% cut. So if your budget is $10,000 and you raise $10,000, they take $1,000. they take 10% right off the top. We're currently on this current project that we're raising funds for right now. We set a higher budget at the top end of what we need, and we're using Indiegogo this time. And the good thing about Indiegogo is you're given an option, and we chose the option to take. They take 9% based on the option we chose, and we get whatever we raise. We set a 60-day funding campaign. At the end of 60 days, if we raise $100, we get our $100. I mean, we set it at 20,000, and we're like at 8 right now with 13 days to go. But what happens is a lot of people procrastinate, and then a lot comes in.
A lot comes in at the end of your fundraiser, and also what you have to do is you have to account for all the incentives that you offer, and the better the incentive, the more money. Like say you say for $100 you get A, B, and C. So you have to account that in your budget, because what we learned from Bluehole, because we only had the 7,200 and right away they took 10%, we had all these incentives to get out. I mean, like 60 DVDs, some of them were Blu-rays, posters, T-shirts. We ran out of money. I mean, we got the thing in the can for $6,200.
That's because I wasn't producing it.
Yeah, that's which is true.
If you're producing your own crowdsource fund project, you do have to include some really good incentives to get people to want to invest in. They're not investing, as my lawyer told me. Don't use that word when you send out emails. They're not investing. There is no investment in that property. They don't have any financial investment in the film. They are doing it because they want to help you make that project, which is why social media is so important. If you're going to crowdfund your project, you have to use your Facebook, Twitter, web. For both projects, we have a Twitter, Tumblr account, Facebook page, web page.
Interest.
We do everything. You just have to get the word out. You send out emails to your friends. All of our actors send out emails to their friends. We put up on our current one, which is called I'm an Exorcist, which you can find on Indiegogo. We had all our actors do little presentations. Eric did a little presentation.
A ton of videos, really funny stuff.
I chickened out and didn't do a video on there. But you have to get the word out. You have to make yourself available to everybody. Be shameless and get the word out, because that's the only way you're going to raise money on crowdfunding. And so I think, So Indiegogo is good. We will raise whatever we raise, and at the end of that time period, we get the entire budget. And there are no strings attached except for Indiegogo takes 9%. You could do through PayPal, you could do it through credit card, or people, we have, I'd say about 1/3 of the people have contributed through PayPal, and 2/3 of the people have contributed through their credit card. Indiegogo handles all of that. That's part of their 9%. They don't do any promotion necessarily for you.
No. But Kickstarter actually has a wider reach than Indiegogo. Indiegogo has been a little bit harder, to kind of get the word out there. Kickstarter seems to pick up on other sites, but that's where what we learned from Bluehole is that, by making Bluehole and going to all these festivals, we met the people, the social group now that make these things and that are doing the same thing you're doing. So now, as soon as we started doing the Indiegogo, it's like as soon as we started doing the social media, it was like bam! It just took off. It was pretty cool. So it started to get around the web, and other sites would promote it, and then other sites would pick up on it and promote it. It's hard to crack the nut, but once you start to crack it, it's like, if you want to make your movie, just make your movie. Try it. Why not? What do you have to lose? It's all about making the shit we love.
All right, we'll go ahead and show Bluehole, and we can answer any questions afterwards. All right, can we hit the lights?
Lights on.
We're out in the middle of nowhere. Not my idea of fun.
Here it is.
Amazing. I just think it's a little too pretty to be a gateway to hell.
It's not a gateway. Supposedly he lives in there.
Creepy, you know that.
We read it in the trail guide.
Well, we came, we saw. I'll see you back at the cabin.
Come on, Dan. It's a legend.
You, me, cozy fire, some music, little Kama Sutra.
Pervert.
Born and bred.
It doesn't look very scary at all. dancing and just grabbed me.
Stop messing around.
No, I'm serious.
All right, so that was Blue Hole. That was just the start. Now we're doing a much more ambitious project.
More violent. For real.
The
Blue Hole is actually going to be on FearNet. It's part of the 2013 showcase. So it's pretty cool. Comcast and Sony own the network. Some of you may have it.
So any questions about crowdsource funding or this film or yeah?
What was your output codec and deliverable to yourself, I guess, and playing on your computer?
Well, since we shot on Red 1, because all we,
I think his question was what you just played.
well, yeah, because we shot on the Red 1, we cut everything ProRes in Final Cut, and then I went back to ProRes 444. I used Red Cine Pro, Red Cine X, and debayered, full debayer to ProRes 444, color corrected in color, and then bounced that back into Final Cut. And then this, what you're seeing is just a H.264, 20 megabits. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to compliment you guys just for just the movie itself. It's I think when you can get the person kind of like caught up in the moment of the movie, and you kind of forget about the technical aspects of it and just kind of get involved in it. And I think the director did it, or the people involved did their job when they can create emotion in that person. So first of all, I want to compliment you on that.
Thanks.
Second of all, on the sound, as far as just like the acts and things of that nature, did you guys, I guess, did you guys do the sound, or did you send it off to a
Actually, a buddy of mine I'm from New Jersey, and this is actually a true story that I grew up with. He asked who did our sound. So I kind of took a story from back home, and a buddy of mine back in New Jersey did all the sound. He just did that movie VHS. He did one of the segments in that VHS horror movie. So he was all about doing this. So we would actually send him rough cuts and then get on the phone and conference call and talk about the sound and everything. We actually have a 5.1 mix, which never saw the light of day because hardly any of the festivals could handle it.
But because we made this thing for $7,000, we had to do it free.
Yeah.
When it's free, and we wanted a certain level of professionalism, and it's that those two usually don't equate all that equally. So, we did finally work with somebody who was very talented and had his own studio and was willing to do it for free, and we'll work with him again. Our composer Zach was fantastic. We absolutely, I think everybody on this project, for the most part, we would work with again.
Yeah, actually, all the 3 lead actors that you saw, the composer, the DP, and the sound designer, are all working on the new one we're doing. So everybody's coming back.
Yeah, great.
Out of $7,000, and you're both industry professionals, you have connections. Where's the $7,000 go besides the 10% that
Food,
they took?
man.
Food,
a lot of it was food.
The cabin rental?
We had to rent the cabins, permits up there, insurance.
And a
gear.
little bit for the camera.
Yeah, we paid a little bit for the camera. We got a good deal on it. We paid like our gaffer, of course, some of the grips.
Paid your permits?
Yeah, you had to pay. And actually, we shot outside of Los Angeles, but we still needed permits. And we had to rent the cabins. We had a house. We had about a maybe 20 man crew. Fed everybody. Everybody stayed the night. 3 nights up in Pine Mountain Club.
So 7,000 goes really fast.
Yeah, but we didn't have 7,000. So we raised 7,200, but then 10% off the top.
Right.
And then you're not even including all the stuff that you have to pay for the incentives. And the festival costs. We probably went about 4,000 over the budget, which is kind of what we're trying to learn now. Kind of account for that, by overestimating a little bit.
Yeah.
Real quickly, having done this, what did you learn? If you were to do it again, what would you advise us who would be willing or are nuts enough to maybe try it the first time?
Well, we are doing it again.
We are doing it again.
But you guys have the, you guys
What
have.
we learned, make sure you have enough money. Make sure you have enough money. And the right people. you know, because there are some people that will probably not work with again, you know, because they don't, the passion isn't there, you know. People do things for different reasons in this business, whereas we do it because we're passionate about it. There are a lot of people that are looking for that golden fleece right away and think that if they do something that they're gonna be, you know, something else that they're not, you know. I don't give a shit if I make money. Obviously I wanna make money, I have another half that wants me to make a living, but I didn't do this to make money, I did it because I wanted to do what I love and work with the people that I love. People are criticizing me because I wanna use the same people on the new one. But like he and I, it's like surround yourself with those people because they love it, like you love it. It's worth it. You know?
I think I was looking a little bit more for like the social networking Kickstarter.
Oh, the social networking, you know, it's a non-stop process.
A lot of work.
It's on my phone,
Twitter,
it's on my all day.
What was giving you the best bang for the buck?
Facebook, yeah, Facebook, and now I started to use MailChimp. I use a thing called MailChimp, and I like just shower people with emails and stuff. And some people unsubscribe, some people don't. Random people donate more money than you would ever expect them to donate, and you're just floored.
And the people you think would donate a lot give you $25.
Yeah, you just got everything. Every little bit helps. $25 buy somebody a meal, you know, or a couple meals, you know. But you just got to, with the social media, you just got to go, and don't care if people get insulted, or because that's what crowdsourced funding for all this, you know. That Iron Sky movie was crowdsourced, you know, and that's like the visual, you know, effects. It's amazing, you know, but so you just got to keep going, you know.
Yeah, right here.
Do you have any insights as to what motivates people to throw money? That's something that they're having.
Well, it's a different story. On this current project right now, you know, when I was an undergrad at UC San Diego, I was in the film program, and my roommate, I would always cast my roommate in my projects, and he was horrible, terrible actor. I told him he would never, ever be in one of my projects again. One of our incentives in the new film, I'm an Exorcist, for $500 you can have a non-speaking role in the film. He put in $500 just so he can be in my movie. So you never know what people's
a lot of
might
it's
be.
Friends and family, people that see this and say, "Oh, I'll put money in their next film. That's awesome. These guys should be making films." You know, there are other people that, you know, you would have expected to put in money and they don't. You know, it's a lot of friends and family.
Yeah, way in the back.
We got to move on, get to this raffle, and you can talk to them after the raffle. Yeah, okay, quickly.
If you can, if you do one of these things, if you have an
Lights
extra
up.
1,000 or two around, hold on to it in case you need them to take it over to the top, drop in your own $2,000.
Oh yeah.
With Indiegogo, we're gonna get whatever we make.
Yeah, with Indiegogo, we're not worried about that.
Yeah, Kickstarter. Oh yeah.
Like we've already had some people donate money, not through Indiegogo, but straight into our bank account, and it doesn't take out the 9%. So on Kickstarter, we'd be panicked about that, but in Indiegogo, it's okay. You know, if people want to just donate directly, then we have that.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mike.